What's going on, folks? Got a project today. I'll show you what we got here. Package just came in. Right there. The oversized IMS tank for the 2021 KLX300. This is the IMS. I'm not even sure what the freaking gallons is here. 2.7 gallon. Now, here's the tank. When you get the tank, you have this little bracket that you have to put on, which is, if I can see it, there's two hex bolt head bolts there they give you to put in. Allen head. You get the gas cap with it, and you also have to put on this little brass fitting here on the bottom. You have to put that in. Be very careful you don't cross thread this. It goes in snug. It feels like you're cross threading it, but you will get it in. It goes in. And of course there's where your fuel pump goes in. Now this tank, what I did is I put the gas cap on. I put a little rubber cap over this. I poured about a pint of gas in, taped this up with Gorilla Tape and shook it around to clean anything out that was in the tank, and then of course dumped it back out. They also give you, when it comes, you get a couple, there's a couple more Allen head bolts in there. You get your gas cap breather hose. I take it that's what that is, I'm guessing. A couple IMS stickers. They do give you hex keys for the two different size of bolts that you have to put in. Now I read over the instructions quickly, and you do have to, I'll show you here, you do have to mark and cut your shroud right there, and then they give you two other bolts to drill and put a new screw in, apparently. I haven't got that far yet, but we'll see. Now there's also, you have to do a little bit more. If you have a California model, you have this emissions can on there, and they explain to you what to do with that. Now, I don't have that on mine, so I don't have to deal with that. Now, I will say, I want to give kind of a shout out to IMS here. They were pretty good about this thing. I had put an order in for this tank probably 2 months ago, and the next day, I put it in because it was free shipping. They were charging like 30 bucks shipping, so I kept putting it off. I didn't want to pay that. Well, they had a deal come up with free shipping, so I ordered the tank. Now the next day, IMS reached out to me and said the natural tank is out of stock. They had the black in stock, but of course I didn't want the black. I want to be able to see my fuel level. So what they did, they said, we will take your number and give you a call when they come in stock. And I thought, yeah, right. IMS is never going to call me and remember to call me when this tank comes in stock. And sure as shit, this is Friday. Last Friday, a week ago, they actually reached out to me and notified me via email and phone call that the tank was in stock, and they would just need my credit card info again to charge me, and they were also honoring the free shipping for me from when I had put the order in the last time. So that was pretty awesome. And I tell you what, they shipped this tank out on, I believe it was Monday of this week. This is Friday from California to Pennsylvania, and I have the tank. It came this morning. So, now, that's the tank. Now, of course, I already have shrouds off the bike. I took the seat off. And this side panel you want to take off because your plug for the fuel pump is there. To unplug this, there's a little tab right there below my finger. And what you need to do is get a little screwdriver underneath there and pry it up. Just like that, and then it will release the plug and you can pull it out. So I'll show you my tank here. Now keep in mind, like I said, this is not a California model, so you have these two long vent hoses that go down and out below your case. I just pulled those up through the frame and left them dangle to get them out. And of course, this is the plug I was talking about right here. And you have your fuel line right here, which has these, both ends has this little green clamp on it. I probably should have made a video on releasing it, but you can see how that clamp is on. And this clamp was on the same way right in this area. See if I can put it. Right there is how it clips on. And what you need to do, I'm not sure, maybe a Kawasaki mechanic will chime in, but I'm guessing you can put a little screwdriver directly in this notch and pry up and it will release it. What I did, because I was worried about breaking it, I put a little pry tool, a little pick tool with a hook on it underneath this shorter green section right here. I pried out on it on both sides. I put a tool underneath both sides. Then I pried up on this notch and it popped right up. I took it off, and be careful pulling this off. It is very tight, the rubber O-rings. And I almost felt like I was going to break it, but I was very careful not to break the fitting. This is where it goes, right here on the top of your throttle body. Right there. And it's pretty long, and you got to be careful. It almost feels like you're going to break that because you got to pull so hard, but it will slide right off and pop off. You could also take it off of your fuel pump up here if you wanted to. I just decided to take it off here. And now I will also have to disconnect this right here. That will go onto that brass fitting on the new tank. And so I'm going to go ahead and pop my 10mm bolts out around here on the fuel pump. I'm going to go ahead and get that out, get everything off of this, and get it slid into the new tank and make sure it fits. So go ahead and do that and check back in. I do want to go over, I forgot to mention this, to take your fuel tank off, you have a 10mm bolt right here on each side. Take that out, and then you'll have an 8mm bolt going right down in this, a long stainless steel bolt. Pop that out, and then your tank will be loose to lift off, and you can lean it over so that you can work on getting the hose off and pulling those other hoses up and getting it unplugged. Here's clamp off. Now I have like 99% of the gas drained out of this. They have red Loctite on those from the factory, or some type of thread locker. Guess I'm not going to say it's Loctite. Okay, there you go. Now I did get another O-ring, but I think I'm just going to use this one. Okay, gotta see if we can get it in the new tank now. That O-ring moves around a lot. See if the new one's the same way. Yeah. Just gonna make sure this is clean and try to get this. Guess I'll try to see if this O-ring fits in here first. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. That went in there nice. Boy, it just worries me though. It does not feel like anything is clamping down and closing off. Whew. I don't know. I think I'm going to put these bolts in and test this and see if it leaks. It doesn't even feel like there's any... I almost wonder if I shouldn't use that one that's was in there and it was already swelled up with some oil. I mean some gas. I mean that thing did not feel like it was going to tighten down and seal up at all. It makes me a little nervous. So we'll see what happens here. Just feels like there's nothing there to squish and tighten up the seal. I mean, I can even see daylight a little bit through there, so I don't know if this is going to work or not. I just can't see it sealing. Even this isn't a very tight fit. I think I'm going to put a hose clamp on there also, one that I can tighten. Yeah, that does not feel, I don't think that's going to seal up. I'm going to be honest. I do not think it's going to seal up. I could be wrong. I'm going to go get a clamp. Alright, I put the original clamp is slid up on there, as well as I put a screw type hose clamp on there that I could actually tighten up, because this did not fit on there tight at all. So, but I'm still worried about this. I hate to even put the tank on, because boy, that, I just don't think that's going to seal. Like when I put this on, there was no pressure against the rubber seal like you were squashing it. It's almost like it just laid in there right against the plastic and there was no seal. So I might just lay it on the bike here and push the fitting down on and see if it leaks, but I have a feeling it's going to leak. Okay, I have gas in it, and unbelievably it is not leaking. I just can't believe that. It just seems like nothing would crush that O-ring. So I got my plug back the fuel line's clipped back in there with the green clip. You just slide your fuel line back over it, make sure it pops on. You'll kind of hear it click. Then you take that green clip and just pop it right back down over where you got it and clip it in. And then you have to feed your fuel line plug, which I had fed out here. There's your, you got to get your power plug back out here. And then they also say, now I forgot to mention too, this rubber is on your stock tank. You got to pop it off of your stock tank. You push this sleeve down out of it when it's on your stock tank. Then you can push the rubber out, take the rubber itself, put it back up through this hole on this metal bracket. Then after you get it up through, push your sleeve back down in. And they do tell you to help this slide in better, to grease both sides around these holes to get it to slide down in between the frame here. So I'm going to attempt to do that now and see if I can get it bolted up. Now what I did on the other side, I loosened these two bracket bolts so it would let this move around a little bit and allow the tank to drop down in there. Side is definitely not lined up as well. That is for sure. So I'm going to take these bracket bolts, I think, the whole way out. Get the tank bolted up first. Then try to wrestle with these. Okay, I got it in the tank. Got that one started. Okay, that one was a little bit tough, and I even have the other side loose, the bracket and everything. So what I did is I took that off so I could put the bolt through the bracket. Then it was a little bit easier to get the two original ones back in the frame. I still got to do my bolt on the back here. I probably shouldn't have tightened those up. Seems like that started. Not too bad. Seems like I got that in. It wasn't too bad. Let's see if I strip the shit out of here. Going. Okay, I'm gonna see if the bike fires up anyhow here before I go getting everything else back together. Oh, it'd help if I plug it in, huh? How about this? Don't make that mistake, you'll crank forever. There we go. I'm going to prime the fuel pump again. Well, it runs, as long as that seal on the bottom. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't leak. So now we'll move on to the shrouds and kind of see what that involves as far as cutting. Oh, okay. I told you folks there was going to be cutting involved. That is measurements to drill that hole that you see in the picture for the new screw that goes into the tank. Right here. You have to drill a hole with that measurement that's in the picture, because this will now bolt into a nut insert in the new IMS tank. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Measure that up. You can see their measurements right there, and they show you where to put the hole. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and see if I can get this bolted up. Alright. Okay. Shrouds are on. I didn't put the seat on yet because I wanted to show you guys that they give you this little button with a bolt that you have to put on for your seat retainer. Now, these are the ones they told you to drill. I put one on first, and you can see, like, there's no way, if I would have drilled that hole where they said up in this area, there's no way I could have got that on. And they're not going anywhere. I mean, they're bolted on just like factory. I don't see, I'm going to put my seat on and make sure it's okay, but I just don't see where you even need these bolts in. So I mean, I don't think I'm going to put them in. I mean, there's nothing in there from the factory. You know, if anything, I'll just screw the bolt in, so maybe it just puts a little pressure on it or something like that. But for now, I'm going to let them go and put the seat on. You can kind of see how it looks there. I'll get the seat on and kind of give you guys a good look at it once I get the seat on. Now, I did start these two bolts. This one was a little tough. You definitely got to put your hand up in this piece here and pull down with pretty good pressure to get this bolt started. They were both tough, a little bit tough on both sides. Other than that, it wasn't too bad. I mean, on my CRF 250L and the Cherubies tank was basically the same way. You had to kind of wrestle these on. But these actually fit a little better than the CRF on the Cherubies tank. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my seat on. See how it fits up there, if I need to put those bolts in, and let you guys take a look at it. Okay, there we go. Of course, I don't know if you can see it, there's my fuel line. So now I know how much I got in the tank whenever I'm ripping. Give you a side view here. That is what she looks like with the IMS natural tank. Now I'm still going to keep an eye on that bottom fuel pump O-ring seal. I want to make sure that does not leak, because of course it'll run down on top of the motor. But I don't see it leaking as of yet, with it filled just under half. And this tank was, with free shipping, it was $332. And like I said, this is 2.7 gallons, so I'm guessing you're getting an extra 0.7 gallons. And here I'll kind of show you the profile. There's your profile up top. I mean, it is wider than your stock tank, but the one I had in the CRF 250L was quite a bit wider. I mean, this one isn't too bad. This is where you get your width, because your stock tank is basically, I mean, it sticks over here, but not quite as much. And then of course you have tank up over in the front here behind your shroud, and of course taller. So if you have any questions, comments, put them down below. Remember to give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, get on your dual sport, get outside. See you in the next vid.